All right. Imaginary audience that might be real in the future. We'll see. This is an experiment, episode 10. Today is technically it's Monday, August 9th. It is 12:06 a.m., so just after midnight. Um Interesting development in this is an experiment land. I'm going to do a screen share here real quick. Um So right here we've got this page. Right here, this is episode 9 of This is an Experiment, right? Has gotten no views since it was published 2 days ago. Zero views, no watch time, no subscribers. As expected with all of this. However, um, we go into this screen right here and we look at all the episodes, no views, no views, no view. But then we get to episode 9. You see right here, I wish I could zoom in. I don't know how to make that happen. Um, but it shows that there's one view. Shows that there's one view. It was published 2 days ago. One view right there. But we go over here to YouTube analytics and it says there's zero views. So I'm going to even go in to see more. See what happens. See, even here, zero views, no watch time. Impressions. What is that? How many times your video thumbnails were shown to viewers includes only impressions on YouTube, not data for impressions. Read up to the minute. Okay, so what I'm gonna guess with this too is because I've also got my main YouTube account. I actually want to kind of go and see some of these other videos, because I've got my main, and what I'm kind of like thinking is that when I signed out of this YouTube account for This is the Experiment, but the channel was still pulled up on the browser when I signed into my real thing. That let's see, let me go on analytics. That it showed up as a viewer and impression or something like that. Also impressions. So people are seeing this, and so with these impressions, it could be my own account racking these up. Um, I hadn't thought about that. Or it could be, um, random people are somehow stumbling upon this and they're not watching it for good reason. Like, why the fuck would they watch this? Okay, well, here we go. Episode 2 has 0 impressions. So I don't know. Interesting. Let's go back. So episode 1 had 7 impressions. Episode 2 had 0 impressions. Episode 3, and again, like all of these have no views. Um, Episode 3 has 6 impressions. Okay. This is so interesting, to me at least. Because like I said, I haven't advertised anything. I haven't even talked about this. I told someone that I was brain dumping, but I didn't say it was on YouTube, and I didn't say it was on a hidden account that's still technically public. 7 impressions here, impression click through. So I mean, like, I don't know how these are coming. I don't know where these impressions are coming from. I wish I did, honestly. I don't know if there's a way for analytics to tell me, but nobody's watching it. Which is bang on 2 impressions. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where these are coming from, honestly. Uh, which is very strange to me, for sure. Because it's like, where, no views, but 9 impressions on episode 8. So I don't know where these are showing up or why they're showing up or who they're showing up for. But it's very interesting to see this. How do I stop doing the screen share? Let's see. Oh, so here I am. So that's interesting. I came in to do a brain dump. I didn't do one yesterday. I didn't do one last night. And I was like, no, I'll just sleep. I feel like this is almost becoming a necessary part of, my life, is doing this. Like, I feel like if I don't do this, like I don't, there's too much stuff going on up in my head to not do this. I guess that, that's why people journal and they do all of that stuff. But like, journaling is really difficult for me because it, like, the thought stream in my head goes so much faster than my hand is able to write that it just, one, gets frustrating. But I feel like I don't fully get all of my thoughts out because by the time I get the first couple words of the thought, I'm already trying to, like, wait, what was I going to talk about after this? Whereas, like, with this, it's kind of like, I'm talking to myself as my own therapist, as my own coach, which, it's the best way to do it. Right now, I'm kind of in this place where I feel like I'm really stepping into something good, something powerful, but also in doing that, it's like I'm really having to put a lot of myself out there that stirs up controversy, that, like, pokes the bear, that, like I'm really doing that stuff where, like, people aren't going to agree. They may not understand. They may, think negatively of me for doing XYZ or whatever. And that's like, ugh. It does stuff to you mentally. When you put yourself in that position that I'm really going to say the things that I'm thinking, no matter how much people may disagree with them. It's tough. Like, really leaning into that and just, like, no holds barred. It is. It is like, that's part of, like, what it takes, is really fucking putting your shit out there. One of the things that I was thinking about today, interesting thing that I did today, yesterday too, last night, I started thinking about school again. I don't need a degree, nor do I particularly want a degree, but so whenever I start yawning, when I'm about to talk about something, sometimes I feel like the yawn is like to stop myself from talking about something, as if it's signaling some type of block. Like, it's like, you don't need to be talking about this. So that's how I know I need to be talking about it. But I started thinking about school again. And I found whatever, Nashville State Community College, or maybe it's Tennessee State Community College, or I don't know, some community college locally here in Nashville, that I could do a associate's degree in. Not that I particularly care for or want one. And this is kind of what I was thinking, is that, like, I've dropped out of college 5 times. I'm not a college person at all. I hate it. And I don't feel like I need college to do any of that. And like, I've got all of these credits racked up. And I was like, what if I, like, just put them to use just to get an associate's? Not for any other reason but to say that I did. For no other reason than that. To close that loop. Because I feel like I feel like that loop isn't closed for me yet. And the only way to do that is to get a fucking stupid ass piece of paper that says that I got a college degree of some sort. Not because I think it's going to do anything for me. Not because I think it's going to qualify me for anything. Not because whatever. There it is. Is blocking me from talking about some things. And what it was is what I started looking into after that, which is, what if I did get a degree? What if I didn't just get an associate's degree? What if I got a bachelor's degree? What if I didn't just get a bachelor's degree? What if I got a master's degree? What if I didn't stop there? What if I got a doctorate? What if I got a doctorate? In what? I don't fucking know yet. What if? Why not? Well, the natural question is, well, why should you? To say that I did? Okay, what purpose does it serve? Well, depends. Depends if I want to be an entrepreneur for the rest of my life or not. What do I want to do? Honestly, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a fucking coach. Not a coach like the eBiz coaches that like I want to be an elite level coach. I want that's where I'm meant to be, an elite coach. Not this fucking 12-week program bullshit scale. I mean, I can do it and I'm probably going to end up doing it. I've got this program that I've been cooking up, Master Your Mirror. And I feel like the purpose that that's going to serve is I'm going to run that program to make enough money that I can stabilize, get some more real coaching from a coach. I mean, the inherent irony of it is getting a coach to coach me on how to get coaching clients, but it's and it sounds absurd because there's two different types of coaches. There's two different realms of coaching that I've seen. There's a split when we talk about coaches. There's actual I don't want to say legit, but it's there's online and then there's the real world, okay? There's e-businesses and then the real world. And the fucking I don't want to live in that space for the rest of my life is what it is. I don't I want to be in the real world. I can do calls electronically, I suppose. But I want to work with real people and, real problems at a real scale. And it's I don't know, man. I'm just I've been in such a wrong space for me that I'm not supposed to be in. And I'm kind of stuck in this space. I mean, I guess I'm going to be if I say it that way. But it's I need to be having conversations with people with big visions. But I don't want to have people with big visions that involve scaling an e-course. That's not my jam. And that's what, or, an e-course or like an online business that helps other online businesses that help, like, I don't like, I don't know, maybe this is just my own aversion to here's the thing. Here's my problem with this. The whole digital space is that it is really easy to lose yourself in it. It is really easy to self-delude on the internet. It is really easy to convince yourself of things that are so far removed from reality. Because the internet isn't real. It is, but it isn't. It shows real things, but all of it is going through the lens of subjectivity, right? There's algorithms. Everything on the internet is run by algorithms. Out in the real world, there are no algorithms. You come up against what you come up against. Doesn't happen on social media. It doesn't happen on, oh, wow. There's a novel idea. A social media platform that isn't run by algorithms. Interesting. This is what I imagined as I was talking about that. A news feed that is chronological. Strictly. You have 100 friends and it posts all of their posts in chronological order to your news feed. And if I have a bunch of friends and it's that, I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine what a platform like that would be like? Nah, I don't know. You're already gauging it. Doesn't matter. But out in the real world, there are no algorithms. You could make the argument that the algorithms are inside your brain. You go to the same restaurant that you always go to. You go to the same restaurant you always go. I feel like my head is like crooked. You go to the same restaurant that you always go to. You hang out with the same people that you always hang out with. Do the same things that you always do. It's a mirror. Algorithms are inside your own mind. Everything is an algorithm. Honestly, look, everything is an algorithm as much as we want to try to deny it. That's how the human mind works. It's how the brain works. It's a series of if-then statements. If this, then that. If this happens, then that's the outcome. If this is the cause, that's the outcome. If I have this cause and I experience this outcome, then this outcome will be the cause that, causes this outcome. And this outcome is, blah, blah, and just like if then, if then, if then, if then. That's how the mind works. What if then? What if then? So the what if is like a threat detection system, honestly. Looking for threats. What if I do this? Is there a threat there? What if I do this? Is there a threat there? So it's like, how do we reprogram the algorithms of our own mind? Because that's what it is. Like, you change your mind, you change your brain, you change your neuro pathways. When I ask myself, when's the last time I talked to a real person? Briefly to I don't know. I go through these phases. I go through these phases. This is the most difficult part of me being an entrepreneur is I have diagnosed bipolar disorder. I've got it mostly under control. I say mostly and not completely because I don't I don't want to shut off the door that it doesn't exist anymore. And maybe that's part of the problem that I feel like it's still there, but it is. And I can try to convince myself that it's gone away, but that's not true. I'm still bipolar. I still have bipolar disorder. Gotten really good at managing the symptoms, but the thing is that whenever I come up against this, like, I think this is it. This is the break. This is the breakthrough. This is the breakthrough that I've been waiting for. It could be one of two things. It could be one of two things. It could be the breakthrough or it could be the breakdown. That's the unfortunate reality that I live. And I can cast aside the, you know, delusion, if you will. As I was talking about this, I'm just going to sidetrack everything that I was just saying. One of the things I just started asking myself is entrepreneurship even healthy for me? Is it even healthy? Is this even like a healthy path for me to go down? Because it involves, like, it pushes me all the way up against the brink of sanity. Some people, if this ever if plays, some people might watch this and think this is David's slip down a dark rabbit hole. Some people might see it that way. Honestly, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Thus is the experiment. Um, but I won't let myself do that. I won't let myself become deluded. I refuse to let that happen. Because once entering that space, things can snowball really quick and they can go downhill really quick. When you delude yourself into believing something that isn't true, things can get unreal. Things can get really unreal. And it's like, what's it worth to me? What do I really want? What do I want more than anything else? What matters most to me? Stability. Stability is one of the most important things to me. Stability, security. I do have a high threshold for risk, though. But this is the forever existing existential crisis. This is the existential crisis that I face as an entrepreneur. Is how long do I do it before I don't? So, and this is where it happens. This is like the belief train. Is believing that at some point it's not going to happen. I'm going to hit that point where it's not happening and I have to abandon it. That's a problem. Because as long as I believe that it can't happen, then it won't. It's true of anything. If you believe that something can't happen, then it won't happen. If you don't want something, then you won't have it. So what do you do? So what you do is you say, these are all of the steps that I'm taking to co-create the life that I want. And you know, I'm working on this strategy and I'm implementing it and I'm like, and I just like, I really want it to work. And I know that if it does work and I get people in, it's going to be like, it's not going to be all downhill from there. But from my position, if I'm able to enroll 3 people, 4 people at the end of the month, if I'm able to get just 3 or 4 people into this, then I'm going to be able to kind of like push back for a couple months. I'm going to be able to pull back. Some people would say, no, that's when you want to push forward. No. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. That's be the tortoise, not the hare, is what they say, right? By they, I mean some of the gurus. What's so funny is the people that say be the tortoise, not the hare, actually are the hare. And they fuck shit up all the time. They get away with it for what? It's an unfortunate reality of that. And like, this whole eBiz coaching thing has put such a like stain, like a skid mark on the idea of coaching for a lot of people too. There's a whole bunch of people that are like, coach. You know, maybe I ought just go back to school. Maybe I ought just go back to school. How do you do that though? In the position where I'm at? I don't know. How do I make that happen? If I wanted to do that. Just say, you know what? I did this entrepreneur thing. Not right now. Not the time. If I didn't want to do that and just go back to school, how do I make that happen? Because I'd have to get money for school. I have to be able to pay for it. I have to be able to work and go to school. So I have to split my attention that way. But if I work, I mean, I kind of do though. I kind of want to do it just to like prove that I can. Like, which is like, it kind of sounds stupid. I don't know why it sounds stupid to me. Maybe it's all of those, all the gurus, chatting in your mind, like, you don't need a education, you don't need a degree, you don't need, it's like, that's true. That's true. You don't need to go into debt taking all of those classes to get yeah, that's also true. But man, I just I see so many people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's like, it's an extra dose of credibility. Stupid that you need it. Sure. I think it is. And there's the dilemma, right? Do I prove that you don't need an education to do what I do? Or do I? Well, I think there's my answer. Because I'm here to fuck with the status quo. Status quo says to do what I do, you need to have degrees and shit. What do I really want? That's what it all comes back to. All these, big hot shots, they talk about like, how comfort is a bad thing. Doesn't have to be. Like, why can't we be comfortable? Like, it's like that sounds like a terrible life to constantly be like under like insane amounts of pressure. Where you just get used to it, condition yourself to like the pressure. It's like, I guess, but like there's other ways. I mean, you're gonna get some sort of pressure from whatever it is. Like, the higher you climb, the closer you fly to the sun, the higher the probability that you're gonna get burned. It's just what it is. In one way or another. We got the story of Icarus. Flew too close to the sun, melted his wings, the wax that held his wings together, and he fell back to earth. Flew too close to the sun, went too big, too fast. What are you chewing? He's chewing on his bone. These are the things that have been weighing on me. This is like the real experiences. It's like, I don't always know what to do. And I do my best. And I think that sometimes I just need to acknowledge the fact that, here's the thing. Lots of these people say, you're not special. You're not unique. It's not any harder for you than it is for other people to do this. We all have a sob story, right? We all have some hardship that we came from. The difference is I don't have a hardship, just have a hardship that I came from. I have a hardship that I manage on a day-to-day basis. to spend so much energy, the amount of wherewithal that it takes simply to exist and not fall back into the patterns and habits and the life experience of having bipolar disorder. The amount of bandwidth that it takes just to maintain my sanity. And then to add on to that, I'm trying to be an entrepreneur and own a business. That says a lot. That says a lot. People don't understand this. I've overcome mental illness because I know exactly what I have to do to make sure that I do not succumb to it. And lots of that stuff, like if there's the one thing that I don't give myself enough credit for, it's for everything that I do every day to make sure that I don't fall back into that life. That's where this whole mindset methodology came from. This isn't what I use to grow. This is what I use to stay sane. This is what I use to stay sane. Being real with myself about that. Inconvenient. I don't like it. I try to pretend like it's not a thing anymore, the bipolar disorder. Nope. It's very much real. It's very much a part of my life. Very much will always be a part of my life. But that doesn't mean that it runs my life. I run my life. I run my life. I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. Where did my bulletproof mindset come from? Maybe not entirely bulletproof, but where did it come from? It came from necessity. Came from wanting to never feel out of control again. Because here's the thing. If I lose control, it's really hard to get it back. And I haven't lost control in a long time. I work very hard to make sure that that doesn't happen. Very hard. Because if I lose control, I spiral. And that's not a good thing at all. What do I really want? What would my ideal life look like? I'd work with a handful of private clients. Make somewhere around 6 figures. Look, if I had a handful of private clients, look, if I had 5 clients that I worked with, and I had elite performing clients paying $25K for a 6-month coaching service, that's 10 billings per year. Five clients for the first 6 months, 5 clients for the second 6 months. Lands me at $250,000 a year. Just nothing to shake a stick at. And I work closely with 5 people at any given point in time. The rest of the time, I get to do whatever the fuck I want to. Got money for stability, comfort. Maybe sure, could grow from there, do whatever I want to. There's so many different options and avenues. But like, I don't need 7 figures a year. I mean, like, if I was doing $500,000 a year, sure, some people would be like, "Oh, you're not playing big enough." And that's strictly by terms of money. Let me get there first, right? Let me get there first. I could sell a 5K coaching program, or I could sell a 25K coaching program. It's about being in front of the right person. How do I get in front of these people? Well, start talking. Start talking. I don't know. What I constantly find myself coming up against is, I believe that I can do this. I believe that I have success, that I can have success. I mean, I have had success. I've like enrolled people. I've helped people. I've helped them with their shit. Like, I've done this. It's just been inconsistent. So then what? What I keep coming up against, I almost avoided this entirely. What I keep coming up against, I believe that I can do this. I believe that I can have ongoing success. I believe that I can continue to thrive. Absolutely. For sure. But there's still that voice in the back of my mind saying, "Are you sure you're not just delusional?" So how do I keep that voice silent? Well, I think about all of the people that I've helped to remind myself how good I am at what I actually do. You know, when people say you're not playing big enough, bitch, do you realize where I am right now? I don't like. I'm in bonus round. I didn't think that I was going to be alive this long. I didn't think that I would have this stable of a mind state. I didn't think I'd ever be able to work through my own problems like this. I didn't think I'd ever even be able to work through problems. I thought it was just going to be problems for the rest of my life. And now I'm here and I'm helping other people solve their problems. That's something. Drawing out the things from other people they didn't even know that they needed to know. Helping people realize the problems they have that they didn't know they had, and then helping them solve them. And I'm in the wrong space for all of it. I know what I really want to do. I want to pull in, let's see, what do I want? Let's put numbers to this. I want to pull in $60K over the next 3 months. I don't even know if that's feasible. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I probably do it. Why not? $60K over the course of the next 3 months. August, right? Beginning of August, September, October, and then October. Maybe at the end of October, mid-November. By Thanksgiving, $60K pulled in. Mark it on the calendar. Because with that money, can stabilize. I want to hit that first plateau. I want to hit the plateau where I've got money that I can pay for everything for the next handful of months. Right? Right now, I'm kind of like going paycheck to paycheck. Hindsight 2020, I should have never quit my job running sound because at least I would have had money coming in. Hindsight 2020. That was the worst decision I made. Not the worst decision, but one of the worst decisions I made. One of the worst decisions I made. I think I said that in another episode too. And hiring the person that put me in that position where I had to do that. It was just dumb. It was just stupid. But I felt like I had to. Coercion. Whatever. You're just acting like the victim, says the gaslighter. But it's true. It's still true. It was my decision to pay that money and make that investment, which was like hands down the worst investment in myself and in my business that I've ever made. Worst investment. Hands down. If I could go back and undo that decision, believe me, I would. It was a really fucking hard lesson to learn. And I had to pay a very hefty price for that. You know, one of the things that I think about when I think about this business and clients and coaching, all this stuff, is the idea of, always doing what's right for your client. And there are two coaching programs, three coaches that I've hired for ongoing coaching. There's another one I worked with that's a one-off. So I'll count him too, though, because of these of the four that I've hired to do coaching stuff with. I mean, for the three ongoing ones, two of them did not do what was right for the client, which was me. One of them did. Stood out. That's the kind of coaching I want to do. That's the coach that I want to be. I want to be a real coach. I want to be a real coach. Not this like, web of whatever. Like, I want to work with founders of real businesses. Like, ones that are developing groundbreaking products, not founders of a business that does branding for online businesses. Sure, they need help too, I guess. Not from me, though. Not from me. I want to work with people that are doing big things. I want to work with people that are doing big things. I need to get back in touch with some people. This is good. Needed this. Get all of these thoughts out. Just brain dump it all onto the internet. Maybe someone will see this one day. I feel better now, I think. When I sat down to do this, my brain was like, it still kind of feels that way. I tweaked my neck last weekend, and had like pressure. My head and my neck, everything's just been tight. No matter how much I try to just like stretch, it's just all like I just need to go to the chiropractor, and I can kind of do it myself, but just need to go get someone just. Man, this is like when I talk about the things that I have to do to maintain my sanity, this is fucking it. I have to literally talk to myself so I can see a mirror of myself talking. Be my own mirror. Be my own mirror. Which is what I'm going to teach other people to do. To be their own mirror. Master your mirror. Maintain your sanity. It is harder for me than it is for other people. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is. To say that it's not is a fucking lie. I had this one of my conversations, I talked about this with one of my coaches that didn't do right by me. Not gonna name any names specifically. At least not right now. I'm not in the mood. Got enough shit spinning around my brain about that. But I had this conversation with the coach, and I was like, yeah, I just like I am like, worried about getting lost in delusion. I swear I will always talk about this, and this like not wanting to get lost in the delusion. She's like, but that was the old you. That's not you anymore. That's not who you are. And it's like, bitch, it is. That's still me. I haven't figured out a way to undo that yet. It's still there. I know it because when I don't take my supplement, it comes back within days. And at that point, well, things start spiraling. They really do. My sanity supplement almost makes everything else a lot easier. But it would be a lot harder without it. That's for sure. That's how good it is. Somehow it just makes things easier for me. Because I'm getting nutrients, right? All it is a bunch of micronutrients from my brain. It's a micronutrient blend for cognitive health. So there's something wrong with my brain. I don't know. It doesn't get the nutrients it needs, and so I have to take a supplement, because if I don't, then it doesn't operate correctly for some reason. Something wrong with my brain. I don't know what it is. There is. Like, whether or not it's always been there, or whether it happened because I started taking antidepressants, doesn't matter. It's always there. And that's one of the reasons why I keep second guessing myself with some of this stuff. Teaching mindset, right? Because without that supplement, I don't know if my shit would still work for me. This system that I put in place, my methodology to stay sane, to grow, to create the life that you want, I don't know if I'd be able to do it if I wasn't taking any supplements or the one medication that I still take. If I didn't take any of that stuff, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I don't want to risk it either. I don't even know what that would look like. Like, that's a dangerous experiment. This is an experiment. Going off my meds and my supplement for cognitive health, that's a dangerous experiment. Because I don't know what would happen on the other side. I don't know what would happen. I like to think things would be okay, but who's to say? Well, this is probably this brain dump The reason it was so long and I had to talk all this shit out, there's still some things that might be floating around. The reason I had to talk all this shit out and it was so long is because I didn't do it yesterday. Amazing. Amazing. Interesting. Well, this is an experiment, episode 10. It is Monday, technically Monday, August 9th, 1:06 a.m. And I will catch you on the next one.